Figured it out.
Yeah, seventh time's a charm.
I'm being actor.
You don't belong with those LA folks. They're a bunch of fascist hippies.
I really enjoyed your character. I thought she was so sweet, but she was so she, knew what she wanted, and she was I don't know what the phrase, she was kind of protecting herself. I mean, what would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing about the film, that all the characters start one way and end another way. So Carmen really knew what she wanted, and then that thing she really wanted was taken away, right? So that's what I liked about it, that there was such depth to the transformations. It's a film that talks about transformations of humans and faith and just being able to be better no matter how much shame you're feeling or no matter where you think you're in your life. And I think the world needs that message at this right now, that everything is there's so much anxiety and there's so many bad news.
Yeah, exactly. People need that hope. And this movie really showed, hope and just how your life can turn around for the better, right?
Exactly. Yes. And how at any moment, and that you have the power to do that and the support to do that. I also like that it shows community, how by the deeds that you do, you start to create a community that at the end of the day will support you. And I believe that to be true. So I think this movie carries a lot of humor and love and a lot of values that we need to be seeing on screens right now.
Were there elements that you really related to? Did you grow up in the church or anything like that you kind of related to when you were reading the script?
I didn't grow up going to church or going to a specific doctrine, but my mom did pray to me every night. And she still prays for me. Like this morning, she said, what time are your Zooms for press starting? And I said, oh, Mom, at 7 a.m. And she goes, okay, I'll be praying at 7 a.m. My mother has very big faith. So I grew up with that. And a lot of the things that Carmen has, or I like to say, are like through the eyes of my own mother. And I think that's also how we learn to be women, through our mothers. A lot of us, not all of us, but so I put a lot of that there.
That is beautiful that she supports you like that.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
How was it on set? Like, how did you do with Mel and Mark? How was that experience?
They're very generous with me. They're very they had a lot of admiration for my work, which is something that I think all an actor needs is to be believed, right? To be supported. And then you can let your talent kind of just flow free. And they were very good at doing that. They were so good in their parts too, that sometimes I would just have to show up and see what they were doing and then go with it. And it was an easy experience when you work with this magnitude of talents. I think they're really good men too, generous and kind.
When your mom found out you were doing this project, was she excited about it or?
Oh yeah, she was so excited. She hasn't seen the film because my mom doesn't speak English, so the film is not yet subtitled, so I haven't been able to send her a copy so she sees it. And even if I do, she likes to see it in the movie theaters with audiences, so she's gonna have to wait for the international release. But she's so happy. She's probably right now on the Instagram trying to find anything she can find.
And what would you hope that audiences get out of it, going to the theater? What's your kind of main point that you would hope they get?
I hope they feel hope, and I hope they feel accompanied. I hope they see that there are movies that are being made that talk about human greatness and joy and happiness, because there's so much content out there that it's very dark. The news are very scary. There's so much anxiety. And I think we need to be talking more about the greatness of humanity so that we can get through these hard times.
So your character was a good character because she was just told it as it is, right?
Yes, she pulls no punches. She's had a rough life, so she doesn't feel a need to tell anything but the truth. which is good.
Which is very good. Everybody needs that person in their life. But, you know, on another note, though, she really loves her son. She really cares for him. So can you talk more about that?
Yeah, she adores this boy, and she's lived through the tragedy of losing another child. So this makes this boy even more important to her. She can't bear the thought of losing another one. And she just wants him to be happy. She's got, I won't say bitter, but there's a certain cynicism about her. Life has dealt her fairly rough. Apart from losing the son, she's still in love with that husband after all these years, even though he's an alcoholic, and so he hasn't always behaved the way he should. And yeah, but it's still a story about love and hope, really.
Did you feel like it was a special project when you took it on? I mean, this story is so different than most stories with, you know, the faith elements and all the elements to it. Did you feel like it was a special project?
I did feel it was a special project because even though it's they call it faith-based, there's nothing over sentimental about it. There's no proselytizing. It's just showing that life can be spiritually uplifting, and no matter what your circumstances, no matter how hard life has been for you, things can turn a corner. Yeah, I thought it was a special project. I loved the fact that it was a true story, and I loved the script. I thought Rosie did a great, Rosalind Ross did a great job of the script. I call her Rosie Ruiz because my middle name's Ruiz, so Jackie Ruiz. So yeah, I thought it was a very special project, and I thought with those two actors, it would be a great experience, and it was. I had a great time. I loved it.
Yeah, I read in the press notes that you've known Gibson for like 40 years or something. Is that right?
Well, I can't claim to have known him. I mean, his first job out of drama school, I think it was his first job, was a TV comedy in Sydney, Australia. And I was in that with him. And I don't think he remembers. He might say he does out of politeness. And also I had a husband who died who did teach him at Mel at drama school. And then, but I've loved Mel's acting. I think and directing. One of my favorite films is Apocalypto. I think he's a wonderful director and a fantastic actor. So it was, I felt really privileged to be working with Mel, and I think he's lovely in this film, playing the cranky old alcoholic dad.
Well, all of you did an incredible job, because the thing about it is you had these lines and they were very real lines, but they were funny, you know, like there was like funny, like there was hardship to it, but there was also like a comedy level to it, right?
Well, that's what I always say. The best stories have both comedy and drama. You know, life is, I'm old enough to have sat around quite a few deathbeds, and there are always laughs as well as tears. Life is crying one minute and laughing the next. And I love a story that brings that out in you.
Who are you here to visit, sir?
Father Stu.
You and everybody else.
When the man comes around. We shouldn't pray for an easy life, but the strength to endure a difficult one. Well, you can't say I never gave you nothing.
Yeah, I skipped over thanking you. Went straight to the source.